Hi, this is Kenshin1913, or P, along with my mom, and today we are doing another Cooking with Kenshin1913.
Hello!
So today we're going to be making Grammie's baked macaroni and cheese. And the ingredients that we need for this is 1 pound of macaroni, preferably Elbows. We need milk, which we will go into, which we will go into when we get into it. We need butter. We need flour. We need 2 types of cheeses. We are using Monterey Jack and American cheese. And anything else? Yes. So to begin, come on in here. To begin, we want to start boiling boiling the water for the macaroni. As you can see, you know, just start it. We've already got it basically boiled here. So you get the water boiling while you're getting the. We're going to be making a bechamel sauce today, and we'll explain what all that stuff is right now.
As Pete said, this is an old-time recipe from my grandmother. It's macaroni and cheese. It's quite simple to make, and it's absolutely delicious to eat. You can actually use any kind of cheese that you would like. We always do a combination of cheese, so it's always some type of American cheese. You can use white or yellow, and sometimes I'll use sharp cheddar. Sometimes I'll use Monterey Jack. Or any other one that you would like, and you could even add a third one if you choose. Okay, so what we're going to do first is we're going to take 4 tablespoons of butter.
And let's explain to the people at home what a bechamel sauce is, because that's what we're going to technically be making here.
A bechamel sauce is a white sauce that can be used, and you add different flavors to it. Some people even add a bechamel sauce, a plain bechamel sauce, to their lasagna as they're layering the cheeses and the meats, and it just makes it much more full, rich, and actually much more filling.
Yeah, so don't be afraid. Do not be afraid of the word bechamel, because actually it's very easy to make, as we are going to show you today. So you got to start off with the, what was it, 4 tablespoons?
4 tablespoons of butter, and you're going to melt it slowly.
Yeah, and we're going to have this on a low heat, right? Or a medium to low heat, right?
Yeah, a medium to low, and you got to watch it because you don't want it to burn.
Yeah.
Butter can burn pretty quickly.
So as we get this melting, what is the next step that we're going to, or what is the next ingredient we're going to need?
We're going to put then 4 tablespoons of flour.
So it's a 1-to-1 ratio on the flour to butter, right? So yeah, if you ever want to make it, even if you want to make a little less,
you just would cut everything in half.
Yeah.
Or if you want to make more, you're doing a double recipe, or you're making more macaroni, you can double the recipe also. Yeah. Okay, so that's basically melted. I'm going to add the 4 tablespoons of flour, and then you're going to stir that around to incorporate the flour into the butter. And as you can see, it almost comes like a little paste.
Yeah, you want to make sure. Well, you want to make sure to what is it with the lumps there? You want to get those lumps out.
Yep. And I have actually now shut the stove off, and I'm mixing this all together.
Yeah, because now we get like a little nice yellow kind of sauce here.
Okay. Now we're going to take our 2 cups of milk, and we're going to gradually add some in.
Not all at once, because it'll just get too liquidy too fast. So,
and I'm turning my my stove back on. And as you can see, I'm incorporating this into here, the flour mixture into the milk. And this takes a little bit of time because this is going to actually start to get thick. And so I'm going to keep adding a little bit more milk.
Yeah, just continually add the milk, because what the flour is going to do is it's going to make this recipe, or make this sauce thicker. And so right now it looks pretty liquidy, but actually it will become less liquidy as the flour cooks in. Now, Ma, how much does this recipe usually make?
This will coat 1 pound of elbow macaroni pretty nicely. So this is just about the right combination.
Okay.
If you're using maybe a macaroni that is a bigger, like a butterfly, or even I've done it where I've done shells, so they kind of scoop up a lot of the sauce, you may want to make a little bit more of the bechamel or cheese sauce.
So,
and as I said, the bechamel, as you can see, this is a plain sauce. So what people do to this is to add their own ingredients, and most of the time it is some type of a cheese.
Yeah, usually this is a cheese sauce. This is actually another way of how to start Alfredo as well. So actually we're going to continue to add the milk and stir it up until we get the consistency that we want.
Okay, here we are. We're almost to the point now where we're going to actually add our cheese, and you can see the consistency has gotten nice and thick. This took about 5 minutes or so with cooking the whole flour and butter and milk combination.
Yeah,
and you have to constantly stir, because you do not want this to burn. So I had raised my heat a little bit to get it to come up almost to a boil. Then I lower my flame to about a medium low heat, and as you can see it's boiling just a little bit, and now I'm going to put it on low as I'm adding my cheese.
And also another thing to do while you're stirring is, if you have a chance, to begin to preheat your oven to 350 degrees. So now, how much cheese do we have here? About half a pound of American cheese?
I have a half a pound of American cheese, and I'm using yellow, and as you can see I'm breaking it up and then just incorporating it and stirring it into
I can stir it
the sauce
while you break it.
And I have 4 ounces of the Monterey Jack. This is, one of the bar cheeses that is 8 ounces. And I'm adding that into it.
Now, yeah, you can use whichever type of cheese you want. And actually, as I was mentioning before, this is how you actually make Alfredo sauce. Usually, you would probably use a mozzarella. You would use Parmesan, or maybe even a provolone if you want. I've used a Munster one time. And this is basically how you would make Alfredo sauce. So, yeah, we're going to be using this. And we are going to be making mac and cheese. And now you just got to continually stir it. And you will eventually see it change a little bit of color due to the fact that you got all this orange or yellow cheese in there.
Right, and if you use a yellow sharp cheese, the color will even be a little bit more yellow.
Yeah, it's really up to your discretion and what type of cheese you want. Because that's what the versatility of this one sauce is, that you can use any kind of cheese, as long as you like it, obviously, and still make it taste really good.
My daughter actually, she loves to make this, and my oldest daughter.
And she can never remember the damn recipe. Well, now she'll have this video.
What she actually does is she puts 3 different kind of cheeses, whatever her and her husband like.
Yeah,
and as you can see, the consistency is almost like a pudding.
Yeah, and it's getting really thick, and you can kind of tell that as you're stirring, that the cheese is melting and combining with the bechamel.
And if you feel that it's a little bit too thick for your likeness, what you could do is, after the cheese has been melted, you can always add a little bit more milk to make the consistency a little bit more liquid.
So yeah, we're just going to finish off doing this, and then we'll meet you right back after the cheese is melted. Yes, again, keep it on a low heat and continue to stir.
Okay, we're at the point now. Our bechamel sauce is done. I'm going to show you a couple of last minute things for the bechamel. I am now putting my elbow macaroni into the boiling water. This will take about 5 minutes or so to cook.
Yeah.
Stir it around.
Do you want to cook it all the way?
What we want it al dente, meaning a little bit on the harder side. You don't want it really mushy because this is your macaroni and cheese is actually going to go into the oven to get a little brown and crispy on top. It'll bake for about 15 or 20 minutes, or until the perfection that you like it, how crispy you want it on top. So what we're going to do is to let this come back up to a boil, and let the macaroni cook, and then we'll drain it, and we'll go to the next step of adding the cheese sauce to the macaroni. And I'm going to show you a little trick that Grandma did, which I'm sure is probably not in all macaroni and cheeses. Okay, here we are back. Our macaroni's still cooking, and the kind of pan that you want to use, this is a traditional tin pan that you can buy at any store, grocery store or specialty stores. This size is one that they would traditionally use for lasagna. Or if you have a glass casserole dish that will hold a pound of macaroni, you can definitely use that. Our bechamel sauce is done, and you can see the nice consistency of the sauce. It almost looks like a pudding. The last thing that we're going to add to this, you do not need salt in this recipe because your cheese is a little on the salty side. With many white sauces, chefs will say to add a little bit of nutmeg. This is optional, and it's just a little dash of nutmeg. It brings out the flavor in the white sauce. Okay? And also we're going to add a little bit of pepper. Now I'm using, because this sauce is white, I happen to have white pepper. If you do not have it, don't fret about it. You can use a little dash of black pepper. You'll just see the little bit of black specks in it.
And then we'll mix this all up.
And then we're going to mix this up again and incorporate it into the bechamel sauce.
Yeah, you can kind of barely even see it in there, in case anyone's like, "Oh, now the white sauce is ruined." It's still pretty white. So now that we got these little optional thingies done with the bechamel, we are going to strain the macaroni and put it in this pan, and then we will meet you back with the finishing touches.
Okay, here we are. Our macaroni's done. It's strained, and we are dumping it all into our pan.
Yep. And by this time, your oven should be preheated to 350. Because, yes, we do need to put in the oven.
Okay, now what we're going to do is we're going to take our sauce and gradually...
Yeah. Can you do that? It's alright. Don't worry about it. I'll get the angle.
Sorry.
But, yeah, we're going to just dump the sauce on the macaroni. As you can see.
It looks beautiful.
It does look...
This does come out to be a really nice...
It is pretty delicious.
Oh, I know what some people add. Velveeta.
Yeah, some people will add Velveeta.
Okay, so as you can see, we're...
Now you just gotta mix the bechamel into the macaroni. And get it, a nice consistency with all the macaroni.
And as you can see,
and don't be afraid if you do have extra sauce, because it will... Don't worry about that.
Yep. It as it bakes, it just gels all together.
Mm-hmm.
This here, this is just the right amount for a pound of elbows. As I mentioned, if you use maybe a bigger macaroni or something that will kind of soak up the sauce, you may want to make a little bit extra. And as you can see, I'm trying to get every last drop. Oh, sorry. Okay, now this, I mentioned we're going to show you something that was probably I've never seen anybody do it, but my grandmother, this is her recipe.
So this is how we're going to do it.
What she does is she always took a piece of American bread and she would break it up into little bits.
and crumble it into the mac and cheese on the top, or does she actually stir it in?
Yep, we're going to stir this in.
So yeah, let's crumble you would crumble the white bread
into little pieces.
Yeah, and this is why this makes it our grandmother's recipe, is because this is, or my Grammie or her grandmother's recipe, is because you would use the white bread.
As you can see now, I crumbled the one slice of bread, so I'm just going to kind of squish it down, move it around a little bit so it gets in between the macaroni.
Yep, probably thinking, hey, that's a lot of carbs, but it's delicious. And, you know, if you only have it once in a while, it's a nice little treat.
Yep, and you don't eat the whole pan yourself.
Obviously. This will probably serve about 6 people, depending on what your serving size is at home. And then finally, what's the last step we do, MOM?
Okay, what we end up doing is we put a little bit of breadcrumbs on the top, sprinkle them. I'm happen to be using plain whole wheat ones. You can use Italian ones that are a little flavored. You could use panko breadcrumbs.
Yeah, those are the Japanese style panko breadcrumbs. They're pretty good.
And they kind of will get a little bit more crispy.
Yeah, you put that on the top to make sort of like a nice crust to the mac and cheese.
Yep. And some people, again, this is optional. You do not have to do this. Also, some people will add to the top of it, on top of the breadcrumbs, especially if you're using a heavy layer, put a couple of dabs of butter all around your pan before it's baked.
So what temperature? 350.
350.
And now how long does this bad boy go into?
About 20 minutes. And
okay.
As I said, you're going to see it'll start to crisp up on top. And depending on how you like it, would be the time that you will take it out.
Yeah, so we will see you when this whole process is done so we can have a bite. So, okay, as you can see, the macaroni and cheese is done after how long was it?
About 20 minutes.
About 20 minutes. So, yeah, this is the consistency and this is what it should look like. It looks delicious, doesn't it? So, yeah, let's give it a go. Alright, so here we go. Let's take out a little bit of mac and cheese, as you can see. Yeah, I'm not going to take out a lot because I'm going to be eating it a little later anyways. But look at this baby, huh? Hot out of the oven. Yum, yum. Now you got to do the old blow technique because it's friggin' hot. Delicious. So this has been Kenshin1913 along with Mom. And we'll see you in the next episode.
Enjoy and happy eating.
Mm-hmm.